Welcome to SCBWI Carolina's Book Fairies First Look. I'm your host, Mickey Bear. Joining me today is the very punny picture book author who is on the money with her latest release, Kimberly Wilson.
Hey.
Kimberly is the author of a pun-filled money picture book series that helps kids make sense of financial literacy concepts, including a penny's worth, a dollar's grand dream, a credit card takes charge, and piggy bank saves the day. She also has, there it is, she also has several nonfiction titles hitting the shelves in the next couple of years when she's not at her desk crafting a manuscript or going down the research rabbit hole. You can find her visiting schools, volunteering with literacy nonprofits, and browsing the shelves of her favorite bookstores. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you for having me. That was wonderful.
Thanks. Well, before we change it up with our Q&A, let me tell everyone about your latest release, Piggy Bank Saves the Day. Descended from a long line of patient, persistent savers, this piggy bank breaks the mold, flying in fast with a goal to gather cash. He's a supersonic saving machine. When his friends give him his first savings goal, Piggy hits the scene, rallying coins and cash in all the classic spots, from couch cushion to laundry pockets. Go pig or go home. But in his rush to save, Piggy leaves behind his stopper and forgets to read the official bank handbook, trailing the coins he's collected and failing to meet his savings goals. With his high-speed ways leaving him empty inside, Piggy must come to his senses, reading the handbook, playing it cool, slowly saving and paying with patience, if he ever wants to hit his goals and live up to the bank name. Readers of all ages will go hog wild for his playful, punny introduction to patient, persistent saving as they follow Piggy's journey from hurried hog to super saver. So, Kimberly, I know I've thrown in a few puns as well, but you are the pun queen with this series. I absolutely love it. I
Thank
don't
you.
know how hard it is to come up with the puns, but I have to ask, what was the biggest challenge in writing this story?
Well, I think the puns are probably the easiest and most fun for me. So that I love to make lists and stuff like that. So the puns are really kind of where I get to be super creative. I think the challenge for this book in particular was it's a new character, right? So Piggy has not been in the previous three books. And so I guess coming up with his backstory and his personality and making that relate to what his challenges are in the book, being kind of extra speedy and not paying attention to things, whereas his ancestors were patient, persistent savers. So I think, just coming up with his individual personality that made saving a challenge for him was probably the hardest part of this book, just kind of coming up with his unique character.
So, how did that challenge compare to the challenges in the first three books?
Well, I would say the one that came out right before that one, I had a similar challenge. So, credit card takes charge. Goldie was a new character in that one. So, I had a similar challenge with that particular book. With A Dollar's Grand Dream, I had already had all the characters developed. So, that was probably my easiest book. It came out super fast and we got an offer on it right away. So that was my least challenging. I would say probably my most challenging book was, of course, the first one. They were all new characters to me, but I think the main challenge in that one, I had a lot of fun creating the individual characters. It was a blank slate. So that wasn't as much of a challenge in that one, even though, I had to create them all. I think the challenge in that one was having a story that explained the worth of money while also weaving in self-worth. So there were two different meanings of worth to that I wanted to convey through the same story. So that was my main challenge, getting that right in the first book.
So, actually, I want to talk about that for a minute. You have money themes throughout the series, but they're different types of like financial issues. Can you kind of go through those for the books that you already have?
Sure. The first book, A Penny's Worth, that one dealt with currency and kind of the basics of the worth of each coin and a dollar and that sort of thing. So just the basics of money. A Dollar's Grand Dream deals with place value. So in that story, the dollar wants more zeros. So the more zeros you get, you go from 1 to 10 to 100 to 1,000 and beyond. So that one dealt with place value. A Credit Card Takes Charge deals with credit and kind of just teaching the basics of what credit is, that it's a loan that has to be paid back. It's not magic. As much as we'd like it to be, it is not. So, kind of taking responsibility for your financial actions. There's a little bit of entrepreneurship in there as well, working just to pay it back. There's also a little bit about a tiny bit in Piggy Bank Saves the Day too, but you have savings in Piggy Bank, which is a super important one for kids to learn.
So, as writers, we go through many, many, many revisions and edits before publication. How did the first draft compare to the final?
Ooh, that's a good question. It was a total rewrite. So it doesn't compare at all. I think I might have been able to save some of the puns and some of the one-liners, but yeah, that was my struggle coming up with the motivation, which is it creates the whole story arc, the emotional arc, all of it. So I scrapped most of it from the first draft. Yeah, so this was a little bit of a challenging one for sure. I was also on deadline. Um, so this was the only one in the series that we sold on a pitch only. We had pitched the other ones, but we submitted a manuscript after they expressed interest in seeing it. We submitted the manuscript, whereas this one was sold on a pitch. So I was tied to a deadline of a complete manuscript, whereas the other ones I had a lot of leeway. They're like, we want to see it in the next few months. Whereas this one was, yeah, a hard deadline.
So how long did that take you to go from scrapping all of that from the first one to having something that they were like, yep, that's what we were looking for?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I did submit my full manuscript by the deadline, but we ended up doing quite a revision after that. So, yeah, I mean, I want to say the first deadline was like 6 weeks. And then I ended up probably getting 6 more weeks to do a full, I call it rewrite. We'll call it a revision.
So let's kind of move to the pictures. The brilliant and creative Mark Hoffman did the illustrations. What is your favorite spread in this book?
Oh gosh, okay. I mean, it's really hard because this one is, I mean, chock full. Every spread has so much going on, which I love because you can read it so many times and pick up on different things. He's always amazing. But there's a lot of action in this one because he's, very speedy. So it's okay. I will say I am super partial to all of Mark's end papers. I mean, that's where he like really gets to be creative. And I mean, he's creative throughout the whole thing, but he gets to really, there's no words, right? So, I mean, the first, the end paper, the front end papers, I love that he chose to do a pottery studio here. Super cool. You can see some of the ancestors hanging in frames up above. There are some really cool names, the ancestors. Let's see if I need some readers here, but if you look close, there are some really cool names. One of them is Sue Wee. I think that's so fun. Anyways, he just has some really creative things in the end papers. And of course, the back end papers, he has them, celebrating a bit, which is kind of the case in these books, which I love. I love that they start with no words and end with no words and just Mark's genius art.
Yeah, it's almost as if he kind of extends the story in the front and the back just with those that part of the book. That is
Yeah.
brilliant and beautiful.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite line in the book? Do you have a favorite line?
I have a surviving line from the first manuscript. I usually don't have a problem killing my darlings, you know, but there is one line that I just could not get because I'm saying it all the time. So it was day after day, he sang as he sold, save, 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 save that booty. And then, the line after is the cash shook their tails to the beat. So, like that whole thing, I kept the song part and the cash shaking their tails. I think, gosh, in the first draft, if I'm remembering correctly, it was one of the first lines, and now it's one of it's towards the back of the book now.
For those who haven't caught you at a live event yet, you are I love that you will get up there and do that. Like you kind of sing it and animate it, and it's so awesome to see. It's so fun. You really make those author events fun and interactive, and I love it. So I'm glad you had it in the book because it got you up there singing.
I have a lot of fun with it. I am no singer, but I enjoy singing, so I'm glad I could entertain.
Oh, that's fun. So, what do you have currently in the works? What's next for you?
Well, I have a March release coming up. So I have a book called Where There's a Whale, There's a Way. It's coming out with Raycraft March 10th. It's about a pod of orcas. It's a true story. A pod of orcas that gets stuck in the Hudson Bay after the winter comes in with no warning and freezes the bay overnight. So they're surviving with one little breathing hole and taking turns, and the villagers in the village right there on the bay, it's kind of a parallel story where they're helping the whales. They're trying to help them escape, or find a way to help them escape, and the whales are using all of their instincts to try to escape as well: echolocation, sonar, hearing, all that stuff. They're trying to escape, and so it's a story about their inspirational and persistent story of the pod and the people trying to help them. So yeah,
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing.
I'm
I'm looking
super
forward to
excited
it.
about it. It's not punny at all, except for the title. It's more of a lyrical, like read aloud story. So I'm really excited
Okay.
about it, and the art is gorgeous in that one as well. So,
Oh, well, we are so definitely looking forward to that one for sure. Do you think
yeah.
you'll do anything else with the money series? Is that a
I
possibility, I
mean,
guess I should say?
it's always a possibility, I guess. I mean, I'd love to if the possibility presents itself. Sure.
So, of course, we're going to need to keep up with you and your events and releases. What is the best way for readers, educators, librarians, all of us to stay up to date?
Yeah, I have many different places. So my website, KimberlyWilsonWrites.com. I'm also Kimberly Wilson Writes, my handle on Instagram and Facebook. I think X, I'm author Kim Wilson, and on Blue Sky, I'm Kimberly Wilson. So yeah,
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for joining me for Book Fairy's first look this month, Kimberly. And congratulations again on the release of Piggy Bank Saves the Day.
thank you so much. This is so much fun talking to you. I appreciate it.